Be careful moving into a new house with a swimming pool, because this cursed water can heal your body but steal your life. The film opens in the summer of 1992, revealing a luxurious house complete with a private swimming pool. The atmosphere feels calm and peaceful until the camera lingers on a small toy boat floating alone on the surface of the water. That night, a young girl named Rebecca wakes from her sleep after hearing a strange noise coming from the pool. Driven by curiosity, she approaches her bedroom window and sees the toy boat she thought was lost now moving by itself across the water. Rebecca then walks to her older brother Tommy's room, knowing he is suffering from a serious illness, and innocently tells him that his toy boat is in the pool, promising she will retrieve it for him. She initially plans to wake Tommy, but changes her mind when she hears a knock outside the room and realizes it is her mother. Not wanting to trouble anyone, Rebecca gathers her courage and goes to the pool alone to get the toy. When she arrives, she finds that the boat has already sunk to the bottom. She tries to reach it with a net, but suddenly an unseen force pulls her into the water. Although she manages to swim at first, the situation becomes increasingly strange when she sees what appears to be her mother reaching out as if trying to help her. As soon as Rebecca reaches the surface, the figure disappears without a trace. The unease deepens when the pool lights begin flickering for no reason. Rebecca swims toward the edge, trying to save herself, but the toy boat unexpectedly resurfaces, reminding her of her original purpose. She swims back toward the center, and just as she finally grabs the boat, an invisible force drags her down into the depths, causing Rebecca to drown. Even more disturbing, her body vanishes without leaving any trace. 15 years later, the story continues with the introduction of a family searching for a new home. The father, Ray, is a former baseball athlete who was forced into early retirement due to a severe leg injury. He lives with his wife, Eve, and their 2 children, Izzy and Elliot. While touring houses for sale in a suburban neighborhood, Ray becomes drawn to one house that feels perfect, unaware that it once belonged to Rebecca's family. As Eve speaks with the real estate agent and explores the inside of the house, Ray stays outside near the swimming pool, which is still covered with a tarp. He notices a baseball lying in the water and attempts to retrieve it, but because he still relies on a cane, he struggles to reach the ball and ends up slipping into the pool. Fortunately, Ray can still swim and manages to resurface. Moments later, Eve and the children rush over in panic and help him out of the water. Despite the incident, their interest in the house does not fade. They decide to buy it anyway, especially since it is the only house in the neighborhood with a swimming pool, something they believe is ideal for their family. Before officially moving in, Eve takes Ray to the hospital to have his condition checked. Once everything is settled, the family begins cleaning and organizing their new home together.
I was at the plate and pop!
Splash.
Really?
Yeah.
It's great, Iz.
While Ray is cleaning the pool drain, his hand is suddenly injured for no clear reason. At the same time, thick, black, dirty water unexpectedly pours out from the pipe, shocking everyone.
Yeah. Izzy is...
Dad? Is that supposed to happen? Oh my gosh.
Worried that something might be seriously wrong with the pool, the family immediately calls a pool cleaner. After inspecting it, the technician explains that the pool has a natural underground spring that can refill the water on its own. Hearing this actually makes them happy, since they see it as a big advantage because they no longer need to manually refill the pool.
See that cap? That's a wellhead.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm about to tell you what that means. Actual spring-fed pool before in person. These spring pools are supposed to work miracles on your skin.
Their first day living in the house feels normal and even joyful as they spend time together swimming in their new pool. That evening, Ray sits inside watching video footage of them cleaning and organizing the house, while outside Eve chooses to swim alone to relax. In the quiet of the night, their pet cat suddenly appears at the edge of the pool, meowing repeatedly as if warning Eve to get out of the water. Eve ignores it and continues swimming. Moments later, she is startled when she sees what looks like someone standing by the pool. At first, Eve assumes it is Ray, but when she looks more closely, no one is there. At the same time, the pool lights begin to flicker, creating an uneasy feeling. Sensing that something is wrong, Eve goes back inside to tell Ray what happened, only to find him fast asleep. When Ray later wakes up, Eve asks if he had been outside earlier, but Ray assures her that he has been inside the whole time and simply fell asleep. Feeling unsettled, Eve suggests that they install a pool cover the next day and also check the pool lights. Meanwhile, outside, their cat returns to the pool area and unknowingly sees the same small toy boat from earlier in the story rise back to the surface on its own. The next morning, the family is shocked to find the cat's collar floating in the middle of the pool, while the cat itself is nowhere to be found. The loss deeply upsets Elliot. Eve comforts him, saying that maybe the cat will come back when it gets hungry. After Ray retrieves the collar from the pool, something strange happens again. When he removes the bandage from his hand, the wound that was fresh the day before has completely healed without leaving any mark. Although surprised, Ray chooses not to dwell on it and simply feels grateful that his condition is improving so quickly. Meanwhile, Eve and Elliot search around the yard for their missing cat, but despite checking everywhere, they find nothing. Eventually, they decide to install the pool cover to prevent anything else from happening.
Don't give up. That's the key. That's the only thing that matters. Keep cranking one turn at a time.
I'm trying.
Come on. Put your back into it. We gotta roll it.
The days pass peacefully, and the family resumes enjoying their time together, as if all the strange events were nothing more than coincidences. But the calm does not last long. One day, while Elliot is swimming alone, the coins he placed on the edge of the pool suddenly begin falling into the water one by one for no apparent reason. Elliot briefly thinks his father is playing a joke on him, but when he surfaces, no one is nearby. As he dives back underwater, he suddenly hears a woman's voice coming from a drain opening on the side of the pool. When Elliot looks up, he briefly sees the figure of a woman standing at the pool's edge, but the moment he surfaces, the figure vanishes again. Shortly after, the voice returns from the same spot, this time clearly sounding as if it is asking for help. Without fear, Elliot moves closer and reaches his hand toward the opening, but something suddenly grabs his arm with force.
I need help. Can you hear me? My name is Rebecca Summers.
Fortunately, Elliot manages to pull himself free and immediately tells his mother about the terrifying experience. Eve approaches the pool to check if anyone is there, but all she finds is a toy floating on the surface. Although Eve tells Ray about what happened, Ray continues trying to calm his family and does not want them to overthink things that he believes do not make sense. Ray continues to reassure his family, convincing them that everything is fine as long as they live in the new house.
Is someone out here?
Her name is Rebecca.
I didn't see anyone out there.
Probably just a kid who snuck over the gate, that's all.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have any real friends yet?
One day, the family goes to a baseball field to accompany Elliot during practice. Seeing Ray's condition improving, a male baseball coach suggests that Ray try hitting the ball gently, simply to loosen his body and prevent stiffness. On the first attempt, Ray fails to hit the ball and even falls, causing everyone to worry. However, on the second attempt, something surprising happens. Ray hits the ball with incredible force, sending it crashing into the stadium lights. Not only that, his leg suddenly feels much lighter, as if the injury that had limited him for so long is slowly disappearing. For the first time in years, Ray feels like his old self again, a great baseball player in his prime.
Hey, boys. This is Elliot's dad. He's right. And you turn on with your body. There you go. Yes! All right, Elliot. Ready?
Go, Ellie!
There you go. Hi. Yeah, keep an eye. He's got good mechanics. Hey, Ray, you want to take some? You're up for it. Haven't swung in a while. I'm good. Let's keep going. Okay.
That night, Ray and Eve prepare to leave the house to attend a dinner at their parents' home, while Izzy and Elliot choose to stay behind, claiming they will watch over the house. Izzy secretly takes advantage of this moment to invite her boyfriend, Ronan. The two of them enjoy spending time together in the pool, laughing, teasing each other, and playing hide and seek in the water. At first, everything feels fun and carefree, but the mood gradually shifts to panic when Ronan does not resurface for a long time. As Izzy begins to panic and search for him, a terrifying figure suddenly appears behind her. Shocked, Izzy briefly assumes it is Ronan playing a prank. Anxious, she dives into the water to look for him, only to be startled again when a horrifying presence tries to pull her body down toward the bottom of the pool. Fortunately, Ronan appears just in time and manages to save Izzy before something far worse happens.
Marco.
Hello. Ronan, stop, please. Marco. Ronan, you're dead.
Is he okay? It's okay. It's okay. I'm right here.
Something was down there. Something grabbed me.
Something grabbed you? There's nothing there. Maybe if I got stuck in the pool cleaner.
The next day, Ray hosts a small party at their house, inviting neighbors and several of Izzy's friends as a way to introduce their family to the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Elliot stays inside recording the event. During the party, a young boy named John approaches Ray and asks for an autograph on the baseball that Ray had previously hit. Strangely, the ball appears damaged from the unnatural strength of Ray's swing. After signing it, Ray invites John to play with him in the pool. A playful water wrestling game begins, and everyone seems to be enjoying the moment. However, in the middle of the fun, Ray's condition suddenly worsens. His illness flares up again, making it difficult for him to move. At the same time, a thick black substance suddenly pours out of the pool drain and enters Ray's body through his mouth. No longer fully conscious, Ray becomes dangerous and begins dragging John toward the bottom of the pool. Elliot, realizing what is happening, immediately calls for his mother, while John's parents rush in to save their son. Thanks to their quick response, both John and Ray survive.
Will you sign this for me?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Steroid Shrek over here thinks he owns the damn pool. Ready, big league?
Outside in the pool!
Even so, the incident causes the neighbors to look at Ray with fear and suspicion. Eve tries to explain to John's parents that her husband's condition was triggered by his illness returning and that he nearly drowned. John's father ultimately decides not to pursue the matter further, but he insists that Elliot should no longer train together with his son. As the strange events surrounding the pool continue to escalate, Eve becomes increasingly distressed and finally asks Ray to leave the house as soon as possible. Ray initially tries to calm her down, but eventually gives in and agrees to leave. However, just as they are preparing to go, Ray's condition suddenly worsens again.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Just not here.
There's something wrong with that pool.
The pool's fine.
Oh my God! Mom, do something. I don't know what to do.
He begins coughing violently and struggles to breathe, forcing them to cancel their plan. Refusing to remain passive, Eve starts investigating the previous owners of the house. Her search leads her to the address of Rebecca's family, and she gathers the courage to visit them. Upon arriving, Eve meets Lucy, Rebecca's mother, and tells her about all the strange and terrifying events her family has experienced since moving into the house. At first, Lucy refuses to explain anything, but after being repeatedly pressed, she finally reveals the dark truth about the swimming pool. Lucy explains that the pool is connected to a spring with the power to heal various illnesses, which is why Ray's condition improved so quickly. However, this miracle comes at a terrible cost, as a sacrifice must be offered to the entity that inhabits the pool. The most shocking revelation follows. Lucy admits that she deliberately sacrificed her second child, Rebecca, to save Tommy. While Rebecca was drowning and crying for help, Tommy actually heard her screams and tried to leave his room to save her. But Lucy had deliberately locked the door, leaving Tommy helpless as he listened to his sister lose her life. As Eve grows increasingly overwhelmed, she finally asks how all of these horrifying events can be stopped. But before Lucy has a chance to answer, something terrible suddenly happens to her.
I think my family lives in your old house.
Come in.
I wanted to ask you about when you lived at the house. I don't know who else to talk to. Did you have a daughter?
No, it's just Thomas and I. Tommy loved that pool.
My husband was sick. We moved into the house and he started getting better. What happened to your daughter? The pool made him better. There's something bad in the water. I'm worried that the same thing is going to happen to my husband.
Some water is magic. Tommy was so sick. Someone has to pay so the water can keep giving.
Oh, Becky's outside!
Don't worry about your husband. He gets his health.
There has to be some way to stop this.
Filled with fear, Eve immediately leaves the house and rushes back home. At nearly the same time, Ray, who is taking a shower, becomes possessed once again by the entity that inhabits the pool, causing his eyes to turn dark as he loses full control of himself. Night falls, and Elliot suddenly hears the sound of his pet cat coming from the direction of the swimming pool. He follows the sound and discovers the cat sitting on a floating, duck-shaped inflatable in the middle of the pool. Innocently, Elliot tries to reach the cat from the diving board, but without warning, the pool's entity appears again and causes Elliot to fall into the water. At the same moment, a glass falls and shatters in the kitchen, drawing Izzy's attention. When Izzy runs toward the pool, she is shocked to see the pool cover closing on its own and realizes that her brother is already submerged beneath the water. Panicking, Izzy desperately tries to open the pool cover, but the mechanism is extremely heavy and difficult to move. Fortunately, Eve arrives just in time and helps hold the lever so Elliot does not become completely trapped. Realizing her strength is not enough, Eve tells Izzy to go and get Ray. However, inside the house, Izzy slips and is injured by the shattered glass on the floor. At that moment, Ray appears, still under the influence of the pool's entity, and violently attacks Izzy without realizing what he is doing, as if he has completely lost control of himself. Meanwhile, seeing Elliot's condition rapidly worsening, Eve gathers all her courage and dives into the pool to save her son. Underwater, she realizes that the pool no longer feels like an ordinary pool, but instead seems endless, like a deep ocean. Several horrifying creatures emerge from the darkness and attempt to attack her, but at the most critical moment, the spirit of Rebecca appears and helps Eve escape the pool while bringing Elliot back to the surface. After reaching land, Eve desperately tries to revive Elliot, but the danger is not over yet. From behind, Ray, still partially possessed, approaches and attempts to attack his wife. Just before things become even worse, Izzy arrives in time and strikes Ray with a baseball bat, snapping him out of it as Elliot also begins to regain consciousness. As everything appears to return to normal, and they attempt to move away from the pool, thick black liquid once again rises from the water. Seeing this, Ray finally realizes that the only way to stop the terror for good is through a sacrifice. As the head of the family, Ray makes the most difficult decision of his life, choosing to sacrifice himself to save Eve and their 2 children.
Dad? Where's Dad?
The next day, Eve and her children are consumed by deep grief over the loss of a loving husband and father. After enduring so many horrific events, they decide to remain in the house with one purpose: to end the curse that has long been tied to the pool. To prevent such a tragedy from ever happening again, Eve buries the swimming pool with soil, and the story comes to an end.